on.
September's last back-to-school Nutri-Bite for all of those parents who are trying to get their kids to eat just one more vegetable a day. Speaking of vegetables, fall season brings up squash season. And one of my favorite squashes is the spaghetti squash. And your kid might not have tried spaghetti squash before, so one of my suggestions is that when you're introducing a new food into your kid's diet, that you introduce it with foods that they're familiar with. So they might not be familiar with spaghetti squash, but I can bet that they're probably familiar with spaghetti. So our dinner for tonight is a spaghetti squash pasta dinner. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cook our spaghetti squash. So what we're going to do first is you just take your knife and you're going to cut the spaghetti squash in half lengthways. And then after you do that, you're going to take your spoon and you're going to carve out all of those seeds that are in the squash. Next, we're going to bake our squash in the oven, and you can also do this in the microwave if you're in a hurry. But we're going to bake our squash in the oven at 450 degrees, face down for about 40 to 45 minutes. Now, after our squash is done, it's going to look like this, and you're probably going to want to wait just a couple of minutes for it to cool. But you're simply going to take your fork and you're just going to peel back that squash from the shell. And as you can see, as we kind of pull this out, it looks a lot like spaghetti, and that's why we call it a spaghetti squash. So our secret combination here and how we're going to introduce this to our kids is we're going to take our spaghetti squash, we're going to mix it up with some pasta, we're going to add your kids' favorite tomato sauce, and there you go. You can't even see that spaghetti squash in our spaghetti dinner tonight. So not only are our kids getting one vegetable, they're getting two. They're getting one from the squash and one from the tomatoes. And the best part about this dinner is that when you tell them that you're having spaghetti tonight, you'll be telling the truth.